Today, we're diving into a tragedy that's, honestly, a chilling reminder of the hidden dangers in the structures we use every single day. We're talking about the collapse of the Indrayani River Bridge. And you'll see, this is about so much more than just failing metal. It's a story about failing to listen.
Just try to imagine that for a second. A totally normal afternoon. People just crossing a bridge like they've done 1,000 times before. And then that. This one sentence from the official reports. Wow. It just captures the absolute terror of the moment. The world literally fell away from beneath their feet.
So let's set the scene. We're in the Pune district. The date is June 15th, 2025. And the time? It's just a little after 3:30 in the afternoon. In just a few seconds, a completely normal, everyday commute turned into a scene of absolute devastation.
And in that single instant, 4 people lost their lives. It's a small number on a screen, but that number represents an immediate, irreversible tragedy for 4 families, for an entire community. Just gone.
And the horror didn't stop there. Beyond the fatalities, more than 50 people were injured. The scale of the human cost here was just immense. It sent ripples through the whole region as this crossing people relied on became a disaster site.
Now, to really, truly grasp the impact of this collapse, we have to understand what this bridge actually was to the community it served, day in and day out.
You know, this wasn't some famous landmark or a massive piece of architecture. It was the absolute definition of essential infrastructure. It was the thing that connected villages, the main route for motorcyclists and pedestrians. It was just a humble, reliable part of their daily routine, the kind of thing you cross without ever giving it a second thought.
But here's the thing, and this is what's so frustrating. This disaster was literally years in the making. The investigation showed that this wasn't some sudden, unpredictable accident. No way. This was the final tragic outcome of a slow-motion failure that people could actually see happening for years.
This progression right here, it tells the whole story. First, you've got the physical evidence, actual visible cracks and rust on the steel. Then, the human element kicks in. Local people start raising the alarm, saying, hey, this doesn't look safe. But, and this is the crucial part, their warnings were dismissed, labeled as minor. You see, every one of these steps was a missed opportunity, a chance to step in that was just completely ignored, leading, well, inevitably to the breaking point.
So what really went wrong here? Well, the investigation basically pinpointed 2 deeply connected types of failure. And it wasn't just about the broken steel, not by a long shot.
And this, right here, illustrates the heart of the whole problem perfectly. On one side, sure, you have the material failure, decades of weather, rust, constant stress. The steel was getting tired, but that was just a symptom. The real root cause was the human failure, a failure to listen to people's warnings, a failure to do the proper maintenance, and at the end of the day, a collective failure to simply act. The steel only broke because the system of watching over it, the vigilance, broke first.
So, okay, what's the big lesson here? What do we take away from this? Because this is something that goes far beyond this one community and this one bridge. It really applies to all of us.
This quote from the analysis really just hits the nail on the head. We tend to think of infrastructure as these impersonal things, right? Steel, concrete, wires. But what a tragedy like this reminds us is that these structures, they're lifelines. They are woven into the fabric of our daily lives, and their safety is directly tied to our own safety and well-being.
And that really leaves us with this final critical question. The story of the Indrayani Bridge is a powerful wake-up call. It forces us to look around our own lives and ask, what are the ordinary bridges that we depend on? And I don't just mean physical structures. It could be the outdated software system at your job, the emergency plans in your town, or even the unwritten rules of communication in your family. All of these are kinds of invisible infrastructure we rely on without a second thought. The real question is, are we paying attention? Are we listening when they start showing signs of strain?